Here at the River Kings, we're always looking for that new piece of gear that'll make us safer and more effective on our adventures. But it has to be gear that's going to withstand the rigors of the adventures we're on. And number one on the list of things it has to do well is deliver high performance in a wet environment. I am pleased to bring you a new product that I'm super excited about, the Talkie.
GoPro, this is RK1. Can you hear me?
What's up, everybody? Pete here with the River Kings, and for the first time I'm filming here on location from my pond full of water. The grass is growing in, the banks are looking good. We're about to stock it with some fish. It floats a boat and I'm super excited. Probably do some roll sessions out here soon. But today I'm going to talk to you about this new product that I have fallen in love with, the Talkie. Amazing. So just a couple months ago, Talkie reached out to me and asked if they sent me a couple radios, would I do a review video on that? And I said, absolutely. What drew me to the product initially was the waterproof rating. That's a big deal for me because I've tried to use the cheapos and we just kill them because they can't handle the water. And I can't have a radio that's not fully functional while I'm kayaking. It's almost worthless. And we've tried and they just seem to make it like half a trip. And we've tried the $30 ones thinking, you know, if they make it half a trip, it's better than nothing. But what we found out is that right when we needed them most, they were dead. The batteries didn't last. Water had gotten in there, or the range was so limited that it really made it not feasible for a trip radio. And if you're going to be relying on something, it's better to have something that you can actually rely on than to go out there hoping that a cheapie works. And so we just haven't been using radios like we wanted to. Well, sure enough, the Talkie is waterproof. Kind of way too open. Woo! That was a big piece of lightning. Might be a good time to get off the river. Woo, yeah! Good news is that one already struck there, so we should be safe. So I really was contemplating on what kind of video did I want to make about these Talkies, and I could get into all the technical specs and all the details and the neat things this radio does, and it does a lot of cool things. But I decided to leave that to the pros. In the description of this video is a link to a video done by Talkie that covers all the how-tos on all the features of this radio. Very well done. I learned a ton watching it, and I thought rather than recreate that, let me tell you what the radio did for us on this last trip on the French Broad, which was my testing run. So on the first couple days of the trip, the group was pretty much together and there wasn't a big need for the radios. But at the end of the second day, we started flying drones and started scouting for camps and that sort of thing. We needed the radio. We pulled them out and started using them. We had phenomenal service reception, super clear on both sides of the radio. In the windy river down at the bottom, we were talking well over a mile from the drone operator back to us. And that's in the mountains, so that's pretty good. And then as it rained that night, we started scouting for campsites, and we were out on land and moving way ahead, and we're able to radio back to the team to come down the bank several hundred yards. Hey, we found a better spot. Come on down the bank about 300 yards.
Okay, head your way.
Amazing tool. Saved us a lot of time. We just got the camp up before dark. Thunderstorms pouring down, all that jazz. There's a weather station in here you can monitor in case there's, you know, severe weather coming your way. You can check all that. So that was super fun and useful, but it wasn't critical. However, on day 3 of the trip, that rain we had on the second night had risen the river level almost 3 times. And now we had a big water scenario where it was really difficult to find eddies because it was bank to bank and starting to rise. Wasn't quite at flood stage. There was places to get out, but they weren't very often. So we had to kind of be real careful. What I did is I took one of the paddlers ahead with me in an area or two where we knew there's some big rapids, and I would scout ahead a mile to make sure that there wasn't something sneaking up on us that the rest of the team couldn't get out of. Just stay on the right about 20 feet off the bank. And we were able to communicate through that. I was able to walk them in where to eddy. Sometimes I just told them where to run the rapid. It's a bit rowdy, but be center left. It was an indispensable tool for getting us down the river quickly. Now, we could do this without the radio. We've done it for years, but it's very time consuming and it's not as safe. This radio allowed me to build in a ton of control to the situations just by breaking that team off, going slower, personally going slower, but having the radio to talk to them, so we were able to keep the speed in the long run because I didn't have to link back up with them somehow to communicate the information, to relay that information. They had real-time information from everything I was seeing, everything they needed to do, and everything we were going to do as a group as it happened. And I definitely will not be going on these adventures without it. Radio check. Well, good. All right, so it's got a cool couple features right off the bat. It's got a carabiner and a little tether, so I clipped that to one side, and it's got a pretty heavy-duty clip that I could just clip to my PFD strap. And this worked perfectly on the French Broad, which we just finished up last weekend. And I gotta tell you, I don't know what I've been doing without this radio. It's a game changer. Definitely be right when you get to the base of that mountain. And of course, I had to test the waterproof rating. So what I did is just wore it here, and I was getting drenched with water the second part of the first day, and then all day the second day. It poured on us, rained buckets, and I kept it right here. And then at night when I camped, I just set this face up on the deck of my kayak in the thunderstorm as we went to bed, and it started storming again about 3:30, 4 in the morning, and it rained until almost lunch. And I just wanted to leave it out there. It's been submerged, it's been everything. These radios work, it's amazing. So 100% stand by this product. They worked for me. They'll work for you. Rocky Talkie. So it is worth noting this is an MGRS radio. Oops. So it does require an FCC license, and that took maybe 20 minutes of work and effort, and I just had to wait a couple days for the email to come in with all the information. Everything had gone through. I'm not a radio tech guru, so I was totally unfamiliar with this process, but it was really easy for me, and I know you can do it too. And what you get from the radio in return is a much, much, much better product, and a lot more range. I can connect to repeaters. I can do a lot of things that the cheapos don't do, and it's just solid. I feel like I can depend on it. It's robust. It's got some shock-proof qualities to it, so you can drop it, it'll be all right. You can submerge it, it'll be all right. So that's it, a real simple video. I'm just singing the praise of Rocky Talkie. Go click that link, learn all about it from the guys that made it. Once you watch this video, even if you don't have one, you will probably want to go buy one. If you do have one, watch the video, figure out how to learn it. It's not hard, it's amazing. Rocky Talkie. Pete with the River Kings live from my pond. Now let's go do some rolls. See you next time.